Okay, first of all, thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Pam Bateman. I'm from Open Sight Hampshire. We support people with sight loss across the county. In normal times, we would be having what we call our equipment and information days, and these are days that we run all around the county, and they're an opportunity for people in the area to drop in and view pieces of equipment. And normally, and people like Steve Nutt from Computer Room Serrvices would be there, and he would have a table for the day, and you'll be able to talk to him and view his equipment. As you know, sadly, we're not in normal times at all, although hopefully things are starting to look a bit more promising, and we'll be able to start those information days again, hopefully back at the end, hopefully towards the end of this year. We're hoping that we'll be able to start those up again. But I'm really pleased to say that we've got Steve Nutt here. He's from Computer Room Serrvices. He's going to show us some pieces of equipment that he has. One is the clamshell, which is a phone. And we were also talking just before you guys were admitted that he's got a new piece of equipment that's completely exclusive. Even I don't know what it is, so I'm intrigued. But all I can tell you, he's very excited about it. So I'm going to pass over to Steve. He's going to talk about his equipment. But if you have any any questions or queries at all, after the clamshell, after new pieces of equipment, we'll have a Q&A session as well. But I will pass you over to Steve, if that's okay.
Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, everyone. So the first product I'd like to show you today is called the BlindShell Touch. Now, this is based on the BlindShell phones, which are very simple to use. They tend to have very simple ways of doing things. And it is a touch screen, as you can see. And I know a lot of blind people don't like touch screens, so we'll come to another one in a minute. But if I unlock this, right, so it said call.
Turn off the phone call, 1 of 10.
So the way you work it is you just tap the screen anywhere on the left or on the right, and it moves forward or back that direction. So if I tap the screen on the right,
messages 2 of 10, contacts 3 of 10, more applications 4 of 10.
If I tap it the other end,
contacts 3 of 10, messages 2 of 10.
But what happens if I tap it in the middle?
Contacts 3.
It still goes forward, you see. So it's very easy to do. You can't tap it in the wrong place. And to open an application,
1 of 10.
You tap and hold. So once you're on the one you want, so I'm on call at the moment, tap and hold.
Dial contact 1 of 5.
Now, if I want to dial a number,
dial number 2 of 5. Call history 3 of 5. Dial number 2 of 5.
Tap and hold again.
Number.
Okay, and then I can dial a number and it comes up with the normal keyboard. Now, if you want to go back, you tap and hold with 2 fingers.
Dial number 2 of 5.
So now I'm going to go back again.
Call 1 of 10.
And that's basically most, all of its the way you operate the phone. So it's 1 finger left and right, and 1 finger tap and hold to enter, and then 2 finger two finger tap and hold to go back on yourself. So that's, in a nutshell, that's all you do to use the phone. So what has this got on it? It's got the regular things on it, and like calling and texting, and it's got email, and it's got Android apps as well, which means it's got things like WhatsApp on it, and it's got Messenger Lite on it, which is Facebook Messenger, and various things like that. So that's a kind of more advanced phone if blind people want to be kind of intermediate between using a proper touchscreen where you have to do all the gesture swipes up, down, left and right flicks and those kind of things, and a regular keyboard. So that's the first product. That's BlindShell Touch. But I want to come to, for those who don't like touch screens, we have the BlindShell Classic. So this is the BlindShell Classic, and it has regular buttons on it. So instead of touching, you just press left and right on the square button.
Messages 2, contacts 3 of 9, more applications 4 of 9, settings 5 of 9, status information 6 of 9, manual 7 of 9,
and so on. and you've got real numbers for dialing. So if you're doing a text message, 2 is ABC, 3 is DEF. So that's like the old Nokia style phones, for those that remember. It's a bit like the C5 and things like that. And that one you can get 2 versions. So the classic, the brown, the touch classic, the BlindShell classic, sorry, has most of the applications that we talked about on the touch, but it doesn't have WhatsApp. Instead it has Telegram Messenger because it's a little bit more limited. And also you can get the BlindShell Classic Lite. Now the BlindShell Classic Lite is the same phone as this, so it physically looks the same, and you use it in exactly the same way, but it also has it only allows you to do texting and calling and you know, basic things like that, just like a normal basic mobile phone. So it doesn't do email and things like that. The other thing that all of the BlindShells have is voice activation, which means that you can talk to it and say dial Steve or dial Debbie or dial whoever's in your contacts or call whoever's in your contacts, and it will call them. So it's got things like that, and you can also dictate messages into these as well. So instead of using the keyboard, you can press and hold the square on this, and it says I listen after the beep, and then you can speak all you want and it will dictate and it will type the message in for you, so you don't have to use the physical keyboard. That in a nutshell is the BlindShell phones. So you've got the BlindShell Classic and the BlindShell Classic Touch, and the BlindShell Classic is 319, I believe. The Classic Lite, sorry, is 21. No, let's get it right. The Touch is 319. The Classic, I've forgotten the price currently of the Classic, but I'll get it in for you in a minute. And I believe the let me just look them up. Excuse me a second. So the BlindShell Classic Lite is 219, which is the cheapest talking phone we currently do. So without VAT, that's 299. So that's a Classic, is it? The Classic is 299, and that's 339 is the Classic Touch. I mean, these are designed for blind people who are not really into the advances of touchscreen phones and handling Apple or Google. They're much simpler phones. You know, that is in a nutshell the BlindShell phones. Should we stop there and ask if anyone's got any questions?
I don't think so, Steve. No, I think we want to move on. Just do the drum roll.
Yeah, just do your drum roll, Pam. There you go. So,
there you go.
So we've just been told today that we are going to be selling this new product, and it is called the Navi Belt, and it's on me, so I'm going to take this off.
The what belt?
It's a Navi Belt.
Navi Belt, okay.
Yeah. So there we go. That's the belt, and inside the belt there's a little box. Okay, and that's where all the brains are of the box. Okay, so we put it on like so, and the box sort of sits to your right, and it's got 4 buttons on the box, and basically what it does is it directs you. So the belt itself is material, which means that you can take the box out completely and you can wash the belt on a low wash in a washing machine, because there's no electronics as such in the belt. All the electronics are in the box. And basically what this belt does in its simplest form is it navigates you. So if you turn it on, you won't feel it, because unfortunately we can't do feeling in Zoom. What it does is it vibrates around your body, so you can feel it vibrating around your body, and that tells you that the belt is working. And then because I'm standing still, it's digging me in the ribs, it's telling me to move. You know, which I'm not going to do at the moment. So what happens is, if you press the compass button, which I've just done, I can see that north is almost to my back, so I'm almost facing south. So basically what it does is it vibrates in the area of your body where north is. So for example, if you're facing south, it will vibrate at your back, and if you're facing north, it will vibrate directly at your stomach, because it has 16 vibrate motors, so it can go all around your body. And as you're walking along, you can know instantly what direction you're going, and you've got hands free, ears free, and you just feel the vibration. To add to that, it's got an app for your phone. So if you're on iPhone or Android, it's got an app called Feel Space, and you download the app and you connect it to the belt via Bluetooth, and it can then navigate you to places via GPS. So if, for example, you are wanting to go to the post office and you're walking along the street, it'll vibrate you all the time in the direction that the post office is. But it'll also give you instructions on the phone as to whether to turn left, turn right, and stuff like that. So it'll vibrate on your belt. So if the post office is currently to your left, it'll vibrate on your left-hand side, and then so you'll always know where the post office is in relation to where you're currently standing, according to GPS. So as you can see, it's quite a navigational device. And its final feature, which to be honest with you is the one that excites me most, is road crossing feature. And what that does is you line yourself up with the curb of the road, and you press the compass button twice, and what it does is it vibrates directly on your stomach. And as you're walking across the road, if you veer, for example, if you veer left, the vibrate will move to your right, so it will tell you that you veered off. So you just move back until the vibrate is straight to your stomach again. And I find, as a total, I find it very difficult to walk straight when you're walking across a road and you've got no reference point. So if you're out in the middle of the road, it's kind of hard to walk straight without veering off. And so that feature on its own fascinates me. Now, to use the belt with the compass and the road crossing feature, you do not need a phone. You don't need the phone to have the belt. You only need the phone app if you want to use the GPS and you want to update the software on the belt. But we can also update the software on the belt as new things happen. So that's called the Navi belt. It's not cheap, unfortunately. It's $1,995. But as just the road crossing feature got me excited about it when I first saw it. It was developed by a blind guy who went blind at 28, and he went blind at 28, and I think he's in his 30s now. So he hasn't been blind that long. So he developed the belt, and yeah, so it's a new product, and I think it's different to anything else. It's because it's a mobility aid that doesn't need your hands, that doesn't need your ears, and it just, you know, fits around your waist. When you order it, of course, you have to tell us whether you want small, medium, and large, or small, medium, or large, and that's the only personal bit of information we need to know about you to supply you with the belt.
You have email.
So more features to come. Apparently, there's more GPS features to come. It is a new product, and it's really strange when you first feel it, when you first turn it on and it vibrates around you. But I've been walking around with it. I've been walking around with it with Debbie when we've gone out shopping and things like that, using the compass feature, and it's certainly given me a sense of direction that I've never had before.
So do you use your white cane as well?
Yes. Yes, yeah. This does not replace the white cane.
Replace the cane, no.
And it does not replace the cane, and it does not locate objects.
Right.
What the idea of it is to give you a sense of direction if you see what I mean, so that you know if you're walking, you know, straight or if you're not walking straight. Because even if you're not on a road, even if you're on a pavement and you've got no point of reference, you can use the road crossing facility, and you can just turn that on. And so long as you keep the vibrate at your stomach, you know you're walking straight. I mean, that's, for me, that's a big deal in itself, you know.
And with the GPS as well. So that does that. So you said that you have to. So So it takes a GPS, and will it give you like the instructions as well with the
Yeah.
GPS?
So what I can do is I've got a phone and I've got a Bluetooth earpiece, and I can put a Bluetooth earpiece in, and I can hear the phone talking to me as well. So the phone will say, turn left, turn right, turn left in 3 feet, turn, you know, and so on. And as I turn, because the belt is what's called beelining, so it's giving me the direction of where the post office, for example, is. If I need to turn right, the vibrate will move to my left to say that I've turned the opposite way, if you see what I mean, so that I know that the post office is now in front of me rather than to my left. So it just gives you a sense of direction, you know, without being intrusive. If you've got to have something on your both ears, then you know you're cutting out your hearing. And there are others, like we do the Sunu Band as well, which you can put on your wrist, and that's an object locator. So if you pair up the Sunu Band and the belt and have your cane as well, that's quite powerful. So you know, this is, as I say, this is a brand new thing called the Navi belt. Only 4 buttons to learn on it, no touch screens, and it's just a belt that you put around your waist. Doesn't fit, like, for those who can't see, it doesn't fit like a belt loop, doesn't fit through belt loops. It's got Velcro to keep it closed. So the belt's held shut by Velcro. And it's got a little pipe tubing inside here where you can take that out. You can take the box out of the belt completely, put the belt in the washing machine and wash it if you need to.
Really intriguing. And you find it really helpful?
I do, yeah. And the other thing about it is the battery life. The battery life is 8 hours. So for the most part, you're not going to be walking continuously for 8 hours. So it's going to easily give you a day's work. You know, 8 hours of continuous vibrate is the battery life.
And I also, as well, to the people who've joined us who possibly don't know, you have no sight at all, do you, Steve?
No, I'm absolutely completely blind. I've got artificial eyes and I've got no light perception.
Yeah, so yeah, you often get these products in and sort of test them, don't you, and try them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
And this is a thing I do use I do use personally because I think it's a great idea. And I've been testing it with Debbie, and I've been really quite blown away by it.
Well, I guess, I mean, as well, I mean, is there any chance at the moment it's something that people, I know it's very difficult at the moment, but I guess that's something that, you know, once we're allowed to open up again, people could possibly have on loan to see if it works for them, or does it come?
Well, we are talking about that. We are talking about that with the company, because they do that in Germany, so it may well happen over here as well, where basically, where basically you borrow it for a week or something like that and try it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, until you go out with it, you don't really know, do you? But yeah, I mean, that's the Navi belt. That's the new thing that we've got today.
Really interesting. It's always, you know, like I said, there's always so much going to the market all the time. So yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you, Steve.
Pleasure.
Do we have any questions about this? Also, well, maybe before I send out the YouTube video, if you could email me over some more, maybe a bit more information I can send with the YouTube video.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that'd be great. I can sort of send that at the same time. That'd be excellent.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Steve about the Navi belt? Have you got the Sunu Band there that you could demonstrate really quickly, just for comparison?
Yeah, I've got the Sunu Band, but again, because it's a vibrate device, that's what the Sunu Band is. Just put it on your wrist. So you put it on your wrist like that, and if you want, yeah. So yeah, you put it on your wrist like that, and you've got, I don't know if you can see that, you've got a little thing that looks like a microphone sticking out, and you just literally hold your hand down by your side, and that thing is pointing forward when you hold your hand down by your side, and it just vibrates as you're coming towards objects, and the vibrate gets more intense. So you could have the belt and the belt giving you the direction that you're going, and the Sunu Band giving you the objects in front of you or whatever, so that you don't bump into things. So that's another way of doing it.
That's something that you use as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the Sunu Band has a touch surface, and you flick backwards and forwards like that to put it into indoor and outdoor mode, and it vibrates differently depending on if you're in outdoor mode, it will look further ahead of you because obviously you've got more room, you're just in the street. If you're indoor mode, you can bring it closer so that it detects objects nearer to you but not so far away, because otherwise it would detect walls and things like that. So you can switch it from outdoor to indoor mode and things like that. And it has a couple of switches, and the switch is a navigation switch and the home button. And when you navigate in, again, the Sunu app, which you download with the Sunu Band, that's also got a GPS app in it. So you could use either. You could use the Sunu app or the belt. The advantage of using the GPS on the belt is that the phone tells the belt what direction you need to go in, and the belt vibrates in that direction. So you get both, you get the best of both with that. So I use the belt's GPS, but the Sunu app has GPS as well. And the Sunu Band is a lot cheaper for those who don't want to buy the belt. That's only 240 quid. But I love anything. I love any mobility aids like that. There's several things about. There's, We Walk is another one, which is a white cane. We don't sell that one currently. That's a thing that goes on your white cane handle, and that's got a phone app as well, and that tells you where to go and things like that. Maybe we might sell that one day. I've got to look into that, but that's another one. But I think we're the only company that sells so many mobility aids in that respect, because we sell Ray as well, which is an older one. I don't have Ray handy, but Ray is a vibrator that you put in your hand, and that detects objects in front of you, and it vibrates as you walk in nearer them as well. So we've got Ray, which is like a torch in shape, and you hold that in your hand, and that's the cheapest one. That's 175. And then we've got this, which is the Sunu Band, and then we've got the belt, which is the more expensive one. But it's kind of unique, the belt. I've never seen anything quite like it, because, as I say, you always know what direction you're going just by wearing the belt and turning it on when you go out.
That's really interesting, because you're right, I've not seen anything like that before as well. And I think it just goes to show as well that the equipment is just moving on all the time, isn't it? Things are just moving all the time.
Well, I think artificial intelligence is going to be the way to go for blind people. Whether it's seeing artificially, or whether it's knowing where you're going because of artificial intelligence, and whether it's those kind of things. I think that's the way it's going to go. It's because you're getting smart glasses, aren't you? I believe Sight and Sound sell the Envision glasses, and they're smart glasses that speak to you and they tell you colours and things like that. So all of this stuff fascinates me as a totally blind person, and the different ways people are going, to achieve different things. As I said, what I like about the belt is it's one of the least intrusive, because you just wear it like a belt on your trousers, and the box isn't that heavy either.
Is this the best thing that you've seen then so far?
Well, it's certainly one of the most interesting, because I haven't seen anything else like it. Like Sunu Band is okay, but there's other things like it, like Ray. That so most things have been done before, but I don't think the Navi Belt has.
And now that sounds really interesting. Does anybody have any further questions? Have any more questions for Steve about anything that he's shown today? Or I know the other thing you were supposed to about, is there any about Braille equipment as well that you might be able to show quickly?
So this is the Vario Ultra 20. This is a very small Braille display, and it has a note taker in it, has a word processor in it, various things like that. Yep, it does come on. That's good. We've got a good battery. So there's your normal Braille keys. You've got 3 keys either side, which are, you know, system keys for panning and scrolling. And then you've got some keys by the space bars here and things like that. So these, and you've got a joystick as well. Goes up, down, left, right, and you push it in as well. This is the Vario Ultra 20. It's got a little word processor in it. It's got a calculator in it. It's got timers. It's got various tools in it. And this is the Vario Ultra 20, which I've just stolen off Angie, my wife, because she has the little VU20. Braille's up now, so we've got word processor on there. And if I go down, we've got PDF viewer, so it views PDF files. We've got Excel viewer, so it views Excel worksheets. We've got a calculator. We've got timers. We've got file manager, and we've got settings, and then help. So that's what we've got on here. But then there's a little tiny switch on the left hand side at the back, and if you switch that over, so you switch that from front to back, and now we're in dumb Braille display mode. What that means is we can now connect it to an Android or an iPhone or any phone that has Bluetooth and supports Braille. We can connect it to it, and we can type our texts in Braille and so on like that. That's the Vario Ultra 20, probably one of the smallest 20-cell Braille displays I've ever seen. It's tiny. I'm just holding it in my hands there. It comes with a nice case, and you can just wear the case. So if I put that around my neck, there we go. You can wear the case, and you can type into it in Braille. So I'm in the word processor now. Let's see, and I'm typing away. It is almost silence, and so I can keep notes in meetings, things like that. It is very nice as a Braille display, and these come from Visio Braille. I don't know, for those who have Braille displays, they used to be Baum Braille displays, and Baum are the company that used to make it, and they're now made by a company called Visio Braille, and we do those, and we also have the Vario Ultra 40, and the 40 is here, so it's just the same but a bit longer, and I use that one, that's my own one, for proofreading Braille when I'm doing Braille newsletters and things like that, because we do Braille transcription and things like that. Same keys on it, the same, essentially the same Braille display, but this one's a 40 cell instead of a 20 cell. Has all the usual joysticks and things, connection options, so you can got the switch at the back again, so you can just switch it over and you connect to an iPhone, Android phone. These have both got 32 gig of memory, so they've got plenty of memory on them, and they've also got a USB socket, so you can plug in memory sticks using memory stick adapters. You can plug in memory cards using memory card readers and things like that, so you can expand the memory as well. So those are our two latest Braille displays. The Visio Braille do, the Vario Ultra 20 and the Vario Ultra 40.
How much are the Brailles there, Steve?
So is the website working, Deb?
Sorry, I put you on the spot, haven't I?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, aren't you? The Vario Ultras, Deb, how much is the 20 and 40? I can tell you, by the way, that the Braille is beautiful. As a Brailleist, as a long-time Brailleist, it's just like reading paper, you know. And Braille is just excellent. Right, so the 20 is 2635. Okay. Oh, 492150 is the 40, the Vario Ultra 40. So they're not cheap, but I'd say they're the Rolls Royce of Braille displays. They've got beautiful Braille cells. We have a local engineer who services them. He just lives down the road from me, so they don't have to go back if there's a problem with them to Germany. And they are built like a tank, I can tell you. They last for years, and I absolutely love them. I've always wanted to sell bound Braille displays. It's been one of the my ambitions, but Baum used to have a UK office. They used to be Baum UK, and they sold exclusively. And when Baum went under, Visio Braille got rid of the UK arm, the UK office, and they just let people sell it around the world, you know, who would like to sell it for their country. So we sell these Braille displays for the UK.
I think Dave would like to ask a question.
Yep.
Well, I think the question's already been answered whilst I was asking the question, because Steve's already given the prices. But that was
right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything else that they'd like to ask Steve before we wrap up for the day? No. Okay then. Well, thank you for your time. Well, thank you first of all, everybody at home, for joining us this afternoon. I hope you found it an interesting session. I certainly have. I've certainly learned something new today with the Navi Bell. But what I'll be doing is that we have recorded this session today, and I will be sending. We'll put it onto a YouTube video, and that'll be sent out to all of you to review when you have the opportunity to do so. And obviously, Steve as well can put it onto your website. Steve, what's the name of your website?
So it's www.comproom.co.uk, or you can go to www.computer-room-services.co.uk. So I've got the long version and the short version.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us today. I hope it was I hope you found it all a really interesting session. And so we'll get this YouTube video out. Hopefully we will be able to start doing some information days, hoping later in the year. And when in that case, you know, Steve will be there and you'll be able to see some of these see this equipment in person. So but thank you all for joining us today, and we'll be in touch soon. And thank you to Steve as well.
To contact Open Sight Hampshire for more details about this session and future sessions, please contact our office on 023 80 641 244, or you can visit our website at www.opensight.org.uk. You can also follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.